So this week we went over chapter 9, which was basically talking about preparedness for disasters. Some of the key terms that I thought were important to the chapter were authority. So who in the organization has the authority to originate public warnings and everything. And then which is determined by the emergency management agency. And then trust, which is what public warnings depend on, and it's the leverage that they have. So if they warn the community or any other people, are they going to be believed? Availability, so that's the public warning originators have to be available any time of the day or night. Emergencies don't occur on a schedule, obviously, so they have to be there 24/7 for support. Understanding and training, so that's all public warning originators have to understand the incident. They have to be trained for codes geocodes and how to draft language for warnings. And it was basically just talking about thinking about supplies, support, the aftermath of disasters, and that is all mixed in with preparedness. One thing I thought was important were the fundamental principles of emergency planning. So the first one is that emergency planners should anticipate active and passive resistance. The second one would be pre-impact planning, which kind of ties into the third one too, because it's talking about how the planning should elicit participation, commitment, and anything else. That kind of ties into the fourth one too, because it also talked about also the planning and how it should be based upon accurate assumptions about the threat. And then 5 is the EOPs should identify the type of emergency response when they're giving their warning. And then the 6th is that they should address the linkage of emergency response. 7 would be about the planning too, which would be provide training for emergency response. And then the 8th would be emergency planning would be recognized as a continuing process. One of the muddy questions I have would be how did the proper role norm in organizations come into effect? What was the exact history on that, and why do organizations feel that they need to separate departments in order to get ready for disasters? And then a question I would ask the class would be, if there was a disaster now, would you manage to survive the aftermath of it? So meaning are you prepared with supplies such as food, water, shelter, things of that sort. Thank you.